couple of different things. First, we will be reviewing the exam objectives sheet. So what I'm going to do is go over the exam objectives document. There's 10 different sections that describe the types of questions that are on the certification exam. You should have received this with the initial documents from the program. After I review the exam objectives, I will go on to Q&A. So before I go into the exam objectives, I wanted to give some brief information about the certification exam. The exam will be 50 multiple choice questions and about 50 minutes long. So, more or less it's a minute per question. In order to qualify for the exam, you will have taken all of the following: the info sheet, the certification tutorial, Mastering QuickBooks Level 1, which is the video lecture, QuickBooks Pro 2009, Getting Started, which is the Skillsoft course, and then a Prove It exam at QuickBooks Pro 2012, as well as QuickBooks Pro 2011. So once you pass all of those, you will receive a voucher automated to your email. In addition to the voucher, you will receive 3 practice tests that come along with this voucher. That's in a separate email you will receive. The practice tests directly replicate the certification exam. So having taken the exam, it was very helpful for me to be able to, basically get 3 shots at the exam before I took it, because it gave a good idea as to what I could expect. For the exam, again, 50 multiple choice. If you don't know something offhand, you're able to flag it for review and then move on to a next question and then revisit the question at the end. So that's very good. So the practice tests help. In addition to the practice tests, you'll receive a document, QuickBooks practice tests with answer questions. So I found a document. It's about 100 questions, give or take, and it gives the multiple choice as well as explanations behind. So between the training you're taking and then what you'll complete after for the 3 practice exams and, taking a look at those practice questions, you'll be very well prepared for the exam. So moving on to the exam objectives. So topic number 1 that is on the certification exam is QuickBooks Setup. This is about 6% of the questions that are asked. You will need to know what information is required before you set up a QuickBooks file, how to start a new company data file in QuickBooks through the Easy Step interview, how to keep the lists and preferences from an old file while removing transactions, how to customize the home page, and how to set up lists. So this includes customers, vendors, items, and so on. This includes understanding which names and items should appear on which list. Section number 2 is QuickBooks Utilities and General Product Knowledge. This is 10% of the questions, so approximately 5 out of those questions will be on the exam. You'll need to know how to navigate or move around QuickBooks using the home page, menus, icon bar, and so on. How to back up and restore a data file by going to File, Open or Restore a Company. How to determine the release number and how to update QuickBooks. How to use QuickBooks in single-user and multi-user mode, what different versions and editions of QuickBooks are available for a specific year, how to password protect QuickBooks, and how and why to use preferences. And just to preface this, the exam you're taking is on QuickBooks Pro 2012. Area number 3 is list management. This is 6% of the questions asked. You will need to know how to manage lists, including customers, vendors, items, and so on. List management includes adding new entries, deleting entries, editing entries, and merging entries. So in order to merge an entry, you rename the list entry, and you'll want to refer to pages 30 and 32 for this. Item number 4 is items, which is 8% of the questions asked. You will want to know how QuickBooks uses items to perform the necessary accounting entries, the different types of items and when to use each type. Chapter 5, page 48 in the Day 1 manual goes over this very well. How to use items for different types of scenarios. So this includes companies that sell, products for a specified price, services for a specified price, unique products or services that have different prices for each sale, one service or product, and also the difference between inventory parts, non-inventory parts, and inventory assembly. So pages 40 to 48 of the Day 1 manual. You will then move on into sales. So for sales, that's 10% of the questions asked. You'll want to know the 5 ways to record sales. So this is invoicing, sales receipts, statement charges, deposits, and through Excel, Peachtree, or another QuickBooks compatible program. You'll want to know who will be listed in the Customer Center, how to navigate and use the Customer Center, how to complete the workflow, so from the sale to making the deposit for invoicing or sales receipt, how QuickBooks uses the undeposited funds, accounts receivable, and checking accounts in the invoicing cycle, how and why to record customer credit, how and why to create statements, and how to handle bounced or NSF checks, so bad checks. Item number 6 is purchases. This is another 10% of the questions asked. You will want to know who should be listed in the vendor center. So again, a vendor is anyone you pay. This can mean subcontractors, utility companies, your landlord, suppliers, tax agencies, and so on. How to navigate and use the vendor center, the different workflows for making purchases, including entering and paying bills, writing checks, using a credit card, and using a debit card, how to record the transactions in the purchase workflows, how and why to record a vendor credit, how to complete the inventory workflow from purchase order to payment, how to set up, collect, and pay taxes, and bank reconciliation. So topic number 7 is payroll. This is 12% of the questions that are asked. In this topic specifically, having taken the Prove-Its and having gone through training, I realized I needed some more work with payroll, so I was careful to refer to the Day 2 manual for Chapter 5, which covers payroll. You will want to know the differences between the payroll services available through QuickBooks, so this includes basic, enhanced, assisted, and direct, how to set up payroll, including employees, federal and state taxes, and basic payroll reductions using the Payroll Setup Wizard, how to set up an employee's earnings and sick or vacation time, how to track sick or vacation time, incurring hours, and using banked hours, how and why to set up payroll schedules, how to run payroll or pay employees, how and why to pay payroll liabilities, how to prepare payroll forms, including 941, W-2 in QuickBooks, and how to track time and use it for payroll or for invoicing customers. So section number 8 is reports. This is 16% of what is asked. Knowing this is the majority of the types of questions that are asked, so I was made sure that I understood reports very well. You'll want to know how and why to use the report center, how to customize reports, including report modifications, collapsing subaccounts, etc., through the Customize Report button, the basic question that each report answers, basic understanding of each report, how and why to process multiple reports, going to Reports in the menu, then Process Multiple Reports, how and why to send reports to Excel, so understand and use the Basic and Advanced tab, and how to memorize reports. So number 9 is basic accounting. This is 10% of what is asked. You will want to know what the basic financial statements are and to have a basic understanding of what they mean, the difference between cash and accrual reports. So again, accrual-based accounting recognizes expenses and income in the period that they occurred, and this is regardless if payment has actually occurred. But cash basis is not recognized until items have actually been paid. You'll want to know how and why to set a closing date, why this is important, and how to enter a journal entry if asked to do so by an accountant. The last item on the list is customization and saving time in QuickBooks and shortcuts. This is 12% of what is asked. You'll want to know how and why to memorize transactions, automatically entering, how to set up multiple reports and what level of access can be granted or denied, and how and why to create custom fields. So this includes customers, vendors, and employees. So from here, what I'm going to do is open the line back up, and I'm open to any questions that you have in regards to what I just reviewed, training, the certification exam, and so on.
Can we ask a question now?
Yeah, go ahead and ask the question.
This is Eugene. When you mentioned 50 multiple choice and 50 minutes, is that timed that you can't take more than 50 minutes for the test?
Correct, yes. The test is timed, so you will have to complete everything within that time period.
Okay.
I know the time aspect kind of, seems intimidating, but with the 3 practice tests that you receive with the certification test voucher, those are 50 minutes as well. So more or less by the time you enter the certification exam, you will have kind of had, 3 practice tries at what you will actually experience.
Good enough.
Do we have any other questions?
I have a question about this voucher. After you finish, I've only done 2009, so I didn't get done yet. You say the voucher automatically comes to you, and then you do no more?
Yes, so once you complete your training, the voucher will automatically come to your email. You'll also receive a follow-up email with the 3 practice tests for the certification exam. So
Okay.
in both of those emails, it gives you directions as to how you access, the practice vouchers and how you associate the practice voucher to your certification.
What am I going to do with this voucher?
Okay, so you will receive the voucher in the email, and it will give you instructions. So you create an account through Certiport, and then you will add the voucher to your Certiport account.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the beginning. Okay.
What about if you failed 2 assessments?
Keep taking it.
Oh, you got to keep taking it.
So I think the question was, what if you fail the 2 assessments?
Yes.
Okay, so with the 2 assessments, the Pro 2012 and 2011, you can retake those as many times as you want. So if you don't pass the first time, which I mentioned, I was one of those people, you'll be able to go in and get the score that you want.
Are you going to go over testing dates, or is that with John?
So I'm not going to go over testing dates at this point. What we'll do is we'll discuss with John, and then John and I will follow up to see where everything is.
Any other questions?
No.
Did I hear another question, or is it just mumbling?
No, we're talking among ourselves how to, figure things out.
All right, so is there anything else from anyone else?
Anything else? No.
Everybody's good?
Yes. Then you'll let us know when the test is.
All right, so it sounds like we're all set, and that's everything we have on our end here. I'm sitting here with Nikki as well. So thank you all so much for being on the call this afternoon. Continue on with your training. You're doing great. If you do have any issues, feel free to contact. I'll also be following up with Skillsoft with the 2009. But if you are having trouble, just continue on with the other activities. We'll address that at a later point, and keep up the great work. We're looking forward to helping you work toward this certification.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day, everyone.
You too.
Thanks. Goodbye.